John Jenkinson with you, and let's get into these markets and get deep into behind what's going on in all of these numbers as we go through them here. First, we'll start in the corn market where we're down make that 6.5 cents, 3.30 3/4 on the September. The December is down 7 1/4 at 337.5. Now, over in the soybean market, weakness here also to the tune of double digits. The August is down 13 1/4. The November's down 16 cents at 8.74 3/4. Now on to the wheat market. First in Chicago, the September down 6 3/4. The December down 5 3/4 cents. Kansas City wheat for September is down 3.5 at 448.5. And Minneapolis wheat right now is on the September down 7 cents at 519 1/4. Checking on December cotton, which is the new crop, it's down 73 points at 63.58. And canola is measured in Canadian dollars. We're down 3 of those at 476.50. And here with us is Todd Horwitz. He's with Bubba Trading. Todd, it's good to talk to you today. What a pullback here in the grains after going up. It looked like maybe we were going to build a nice little rally in here and find some new support, but we seem to be just falling apart here.
Good morning, John. Yeah, and it doesn't look great. You know, I think I might have been wrong when we were talking last week, and I said it looked like we're going to have the next leg up here. We'll see. I mean, we're seeing some pressure. The only thing I can rest on here is the true lack of volume into this sell-off. But again, if you own them and they're going down, the price doesn't feel good. They do not look as good as they did. We've had almost a dramatic change in market sentiment over the last couple of days. Now, we'll see, late today and tomorrow if this is really going to turn into negative and it will start to go back lower again, or we actually can turn this market around. But right here, it does not look great, and I certainly wouldn't be entering here with new money to be a buyer. I think you got to be very careful here. I'm looking for them to go higher, but again, I would not enter here. I think you need some evidence that this sell-off is just a pullback versus a real big sell-off coming.
But what's interesting about this, Todd, is it wasn't just one commodity. This is all of them. It's wheat, it's corn, it's soybeans, it's everything. It just seems like it was a mentality.
You mentioned cotton, it's everything.
Yeah, you mentioned thin volume. What about liquidity in any of this?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of liquidity, which is why you're seeing the outside markets, the Dow and the S&P explode to the upside, because that's where the money is going. So the money is coming out of everything and forcing it into the equity markets. Now, again, we'll see what happens, but you cannot fight. They say there's an old saying, you cannot fight the tape. And right now, the tape says that equities are going higher. Bubble or no bubble, it doesn't matter. That's where they're going, and you cannot try to stop it. You have to wait for some better levels to enter, and I think that's what we have to do in grains here and cotton and the others is look for better entry points, because right now, the entire commodity space is getting smushed.
And one of those is crude oil, which is a little bit weaker here today, but we seem to be hovering around that $40 level. You think that at some point we go back down and test that upper 30s area there?
John, I think we're going back down to 30s, or probably. I mean, that's where I think we're going to go. However, again, 40, 41 were my numbers that I was watching, and we've held here for a couple of days. And what's going to happen is either they're going to decide to break out and go higher, which I don't think, but could happen, or they're going to come back down. We're going to finally start to see some heavy selling pressure. I think that is a greater likelihood that we see selling pressure here versus a push up to the upside. But we are kind of on that, that key cusp of crude oil.
Love your analysis. We're going to come back with more of it over in the meats, Todd. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us here on RFD TV and Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM. Silver on the higher side here today on the Market Day Report. All right, now it's time to get into what's going on with the meat complex as we get analysis with Todd Horwitz with Bubba Trading. Todd, over here in the futures market on these live cattle. Here we go. Brand new week show list today, and we've got pressure. August down 50, 99.50. October down 52. The December is down 20. Earlier in the day, the feeder cattle were actually higher, and now August is up 95. September up 45, and the October up 77. I'll pause here for just a moment to get your thoughts. We got this cattle complex going two different directions here today.
It is, John, but I think everything looks really good in cattle. I think cattle looks like it wants to go higher. I think it's going to go higher. I think feeders are getting a little bit of help because of the weakness in corn today. But overall, I think they're going to go higher. We're getting ready to break out and I think go to new levels in both fats and feeders. So I think they look great. I think the still weak link would be the hog markets here. Now they're up. They were down. They did come up, and with Friday's big rally, if we could see a continuation rally today, that might flip over the hogs to be positive as well. But the complex right now, I like cattle, both fats and feeders. I'm still a little bit negative on hogs, but I'm hoping they turn, because at these low prices, you like to get in because usually low prices cure low prices.
That's a good point. So what's going on in the hogs? Is it technical? Is it fundamental? Or is it a little bit of both?
I think it might be just a little bit of follow through. And again, I think it's probably at a key decision point here, John. When you look at the market and you look at the chart, and it's kind of like if it can break above and maybe rally another 60, 70 cents by the end of the day, it might actually turn the overall trend back to the positive side. And that's what I'm looking for. Of course, I'm not going to try to jump in early. I'm going to look to get in. But overall, I think it's starting to show some resiliency down here at these lows. It built a pretty good bottom.
Todd, one of the other things that you're very proficient at is the dollar and following what's going on the outside markets as well. And now that September dollar index is at 96,300. It's down 314 points. So another 300-point drop, all of a sudden, that puts us in that neighborhood of 95. What's your thoughts? Is that a bottom? And the reason I ask that is because of our exports.
Well, John, I think the real problem with the dollar here is you've got so much intervention from the Federal Reserve trying to keep pressure on dollars that if they can break it through 95, I think it probably goes a lot lower. Now, I'm long dollars myself right here still, but again, 95 is going to be a very key level. But what's happened in the past is it's failed to break down each and every time. So we've really kind of been in this range like 95.5 to 98. So it looks like the par level is gone, and it looks like we could be headed lower, but we'll hang in there until it has actually reversed the trend, and I think that will happen below 95.
Todd, you make great points. Thanks again. Always appreciate it. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks,
all the best to you. Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading. That is the latest from the market desk, Tammy, and that's back to you.